Austin Butler to star in the American Psycho remake. Evil Dead Burn is set for 2026. The next Stephen King adaptation has been confirmed, and Ty West and Halsey are reteaming for an Amazon series. Hello and welcome to What Culture Horror with myself, Andrew Pollard. I hope you're all doing well out there, or as well as can be. If you're having one of those not so great weeks, I really do hope things turn around ASAP for you. To borrow a phrase from Eric Draven, it can't rain all the time, which fully I'm aware it's easier said than done. But anyway, I hope there's a few brighter days ahead, right? So let's get into horror news and let's get into Lionsgate's upcoming American Psycho remake. Now, the past few weeks saw Jacob Elordi of Saltburn and Euphoria heavily rumored to be taking on the Patrick Bateman role in this redo. I mean, the actor himself was even asked about that and kind of teased a little bit that, like, yeah, it might happen. It was one of those things where it almost felt like he didn't want to say too much, but that he was like suggesting that, like, yeah, maybe I've got that. But nope, we now have official casting details for that Patrick Bateman role, and it's a fairly heavy hitter in the shape of Austin Butler. Now, Variety broke this news, reporting that Butler had signed on to headline Luca Guadagnino's film, which is not technically a remake of Mary Harron's 2000 Christian Bale American Psycho per se, but more a fresh adaptation of Bret Easton Ellis's 1991 American Psycho novel. For those unfamiliar with the book, that 2000 movie, it varied a little at certain points from the source material. And by all accounts, this new American Psycho will be more faithful to that source material, meaning in theory, we should get something a little different to Christian Bale's Patrick Bateman. As for Austin Butler, he earned himself, obviously, an Academy Award nomination and a Golden Globe win, it should be added, for his role as Elvis Presley back in 2022. More recently, he was seen in Dune Part 2 earlier this year. And if you've not seen the 2000 American Psycho, I mean, I think some of us older people maybe take it as a given that everybody has seen every film since that time. But if you've not, it's an absolute beauty, man. A maniacal craze beauty, but it's still a beauty nonetheless, with Christian Bale possibly giving the best performance of his career, or at least it's definitely the performance that took his star level to a whole new level. But I'd probably say that's his best performance. I know different people have different opinions, but it was a massive role for him at that time. Well, the role even wasn't so massive because the film wasn't like some huge budgeted thing. It was just his performance that made it jump out and like, geez, man, what is this? This is great. That guy needs to do bigger things. Now, the story of American Psycho, if you've not seen it or read the book, revolves around Patrick Bateman, who's a New York City yuppie banking executive who has this, should we say, sinister side to him, this sinister alter ego that he tries to keep hidden, but then also while still trying to explore his own like twisted, demented, often murderous fantasies. And it's a trip, man. It certainly is, in the best possible way. Now, moving on to our next story, and we've got a little bit of an update on one of the two new Evil Dead movies that are on the way. Now, we already knew that Infested Sebastian Vanishek is directing and co-writing one of these movies, and the filmmaker himself has now revealed that this film will be called Evil Dead Burned. Yep, also that it will release in 2026. Now, Vanishek also recently spoke to Konbini to give audiences an idea of what to expect from his Evil Dead film. Gave no plot details, but he kind of gave you a rough idea of what to expect. So as he put it here, I told the studio that I wanted to make a nasty film, a film that hurts, from which you come away tested. I'm going to put all the horror I have inside. It will be cathartic. And if I haven't ruined my career and I continue to make films behind it, I will move on to something other than horror. I like the fact that he's kind of going balls to the wall out of like, if this film doesn't absolutely ruin my career, then it's okay. I'm going to carry on and do other things. So he's kind of clearly taking a risk there. If this is either going to work really well or it's going to tank, and he's going to be left like, that was a bit of a mistake. But no, as mentioned, plot details right now are totally unknown, and there's been no casting announced. But there's plenty of time for that to come together, especially with Evil Dead Burn not being a specific, well, it's not got a specific release date in 2026, just that it will arrive at some point in that year. As for the other other Evil Dead movie on the way, there is again nothing known in terms of plot, but we do know that the last stop in Yuma County's Francis Galuppi will be directing. Now, both Vanacek and Galuppi were handpicked to direct these Evil Dead movies by the main man himself, Sam Raimi. And in the case of Galuppi, he reportedly approached Raimi with an idea, which was clearly impressive enough for the legendary horror director to go like, yeah, man, that's cool, I trust you. Here's the keys to Evil Dead. Don't do me wrong. It's probably worth dropping in here too while we're talking about, loose release dates. The next entry in the Final Destination franchise now has a set in stone release date of May the 16th, 2025. So basically 5 months away, which will be here before you know it. I mean, Christmas is here, the holidays are here, New Year's will be here, and then it's that like lull in January, and then things start to pick up a bit, and it's like, oh wow, we're in May. Oh, there's that new Final Destination film, which is titled Final Destination Bloodlines. I should probably add here. And again, this is one where we've not had any official plot synopsis out there just yet, but the kind of the rumblings are that the film is going to revolve around some first responders who find themselves being stalked by the Grim Reaper, as is customary for the franchise. This is the sixth Final Destination film. Um, it's going to be a strange one because Tony Todd is in this. He fills some scenes as William Bloodworth, the character that's kind of been synonymous across the whole franchise. Of course, Tony Todd sadly left us. Sorry, earlier in the year, which is man. What a talent. What an absolute talent. So Final Destination Bloodlines, that is May the 16th, 2025. While he may not exactly be a franchise per se in the same vein as The Evil Dead or the Final Destination series, Stephen King adaptations, they have this like corner of horror all to themselves. And in that regard, it's been revealed that King's Autopsy Room 4 short story from 1997 will be the latest of his works to get the movie treatment. Now, this was first reported again by Deadline. Spring Lake's Ranji S. Marwa is writing and directing this adaptation, which has the full blessing from King himself. Now, we've seen before over the years that Stephen King sometimes does not give the full blessing to some of the adaptations of his work, or afterwards he'll be just like, what was that? That was horrendous. Don't put my name on that. I'm trying to think what it was. There was one film where he actually asked for, oh, it was The Lawnmower Man, where he specifically said, do not market this as Stephen King's The Lawnmower Man. And I'm sure there was a mistake on one of the home video releases where they actually included that, and they ended up like winning a legal case, I think. So yeah. Anyway, Stephen King is one of those where if you actually get his blessing to adapt his work, you're doing well. That's a positive start you got off to there. As for the plot of Autopsy Room 4, you've got a man who wakes up trapped in an autopsy room after being involved in a life-threatening accident, and then starts to question his own mortality. And you've got themes of fear, survival, and of course the great unknown that all come to the fore. Technically, this isn't actually the first adaptation of Autopsy Room 4, for it was part of TNT's Nightmares and Dreamscapes from the stories of Stephen King back in 2006. Although this time it sounds like obviously a far greater production. I mean, it's a movie for a start, so being a Stephen King movie, 90% chance it will get a actual proper big screen theatrical release. So that's one to keep your eyes on. And rounding out today's news, Ty West and Halsey are re-teaming for a new dark comedy series at Amazon. Titled Bloodlust, Variety reports that Halsey is the creator and writer of the series, while Ty West will direct, and both will be serving as executive producers alongside Severance's Mark Friedman. Now, Ty West and Halsey previously worked together on Maxine, the final leg of the X trilogy. There, Halsey played Tabby Martin, who was a friend of Mia Goth's Maxine Minx. Now, me being that old man who shouts at clouds, I'm not shouting at clouds, I'm just an old man, like, I'm lost here, I'm questioning things, because I know Halsey is a singer, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, I have zero idea on the music, but that's because I'm one of those people who hasn't listened to a radio or new music in like forever. Seriously, my music taste pretty much stopped in like 2002. Give me all that 90s indie, Shed 7, Super Animals, Ocean Colour Scene, go back to the Doors and the Beach Boys. But anything since then, yeah, unless it's some sort of nice, funky little Welsh music, I'm absolutely clueless. But either way, Halsey, for me, did a pretty awesome job, I thought, in Maxine. So she's all good by me. She's on my good books. As for Ty West, he's long been, me personally, one of my favorite modern horror directors. Just, I mean, for The Innkeepers alone, I absolutely love that film. But then you've also got, throw in House of the Devil, Sacrament, is involvement with the first VHS, the ABCs of Death, of course, the X trilogy, which, yes, Maxine didn't quite stick the landing, should we say, but X and Pearl are two phenomenal films. So yeah, Ty West, he's one of those names where if he's attached to something, it always gets my attention. So Bloodlust, that is in development by Amazon, for Amazon. Zero plot details are known at this early stage, but again, this one very much has my attention. And that's that for our news today. As ever, be sure to let us know in the comments what horror delights are tickling your pickle right now, or what you've got lined up to watch at the weekend. For me, I stumbled across a film called On Halloween yesterday on Tubi. I'm loving this Tubi, man. What a great discovery that was. And now, On Halloween, it was okay. it was okay. I thought the really great villain design, a really fun, sinister performance from Telling Rodwell as this clown mask killer, Boo. Although it seems that Rodwell hasn't acted since that film, and I had a little look into it, which was released in 2020. It looks like, from a little quick search online, he's focusing more on work behind the camera. So hey, more luck to you. But the rest of the film, it tries hard, it really does, but it just falls flat a little bit. Plus, the sound editing at parts is just a bit all over the place. But anyway, let me know what you've been checking out lately and what you intend to watch over your weekend. And with that, this has been What Culture Horror. I've been Andrew Pollard. You have a great rest of your week, and I will be back on Monday.